Bienvenidos a la clase de español. Este año vamos a tener un año buenísimo. Y ahora entiendo que no me entiendes bien, pero poco a poco vamos a hablar y escuchar, leer y todo en español. Obviously, my name is Mr. Yoder, and I'll be teaching you Spanish this year. I'm really excited to be back in the middle school. I'm excited because it's been about 10 years since I've had the opportunity to teach seventh grade Spanish. And for me, to be your first experience with the language is an honor. So we're going to have a lot of fun this year. So I want to take you through a little bit about myself because I don't expect you to sort of learn anything from me until you know a little bit about who I am, what I'm about. So on the screen, you're actually seeing a couple flags. I wanted to go over briefly what those flags were. Obviously, on the top here might look like the flag of Italy, but it's actually the Mexican flag, hence my amazing sombrero. I actually bought this when I was in Mexico. I spent some time in Mexico, mostly vacations, cruises, things like that. Uh, very early on when I was in high school, actually, and that's probably the first instance where I realized that wow, I can meet people with this. I can interact with teenagers. I can talk to people I never would have been able to talk to had I not been able to speak this language. On the left, and I'm actually going to remove this because it's actually really annoying. On the left here, we have the Spanish flag. So Spain has my heart. I spent most of my time in Spain. In college, I studied abroad. So for 6 months, I lived with a family and right in the heart of Madrid, almost like living in the middle of Times Square, which was an amazing experience. And then on the right, you'll see the flag of Argentina. I actually went to high school for a trimester, about 9 weeks in my junior year of high school, and lived with a family. Went to a school; it was a bilingual school, so half the day was in Spanish, half the day was in English. And then, obviously, in the bottom there's the flag of the United States, where I am from. Right, I am not a native speaker. I did not grow up speaking Spanish. I, much like you, sat in a classroom learning Spanish, thinking, when will I ever use this? And now I travel the world. I've had numerous jobs. I actually worked for the school district as a Spanish interpreter. So I sit in on a lot of meetings where families might feel a little bit more comfortable in their native tongue. So, one of the things that I think about taking a class like Spanish is you can really invest in it because no matter what your future holds, you're going to find some use for it. And I'm a huge fan of food. Actually, if I wasn't a teacher, I'd be a cook. I've worked on food trucks, I've worked in restaurants, I've worked for catering. I used to work for the Girl Scouts. I'm actually an official Girl Scout. That is no joke. In order to work for the Girl Scouts as a cook, you actually had to become a Girl Scout. So, fun fact number one. There'll be many fun facts about Mr. Yoder. The other fun fact is I'm actually not related to your social studies teacher if you're on Blue Team. We just tell everybody. So, we are not related. Great guy. As a matter of fact, one of the cool things about my job is I get to take kids abroad. So every 2 years, my wife and I normally, sometimes with the Lamisons, if you know Mr. or Mrs. Lamison, they generally accompany me. I take trips to Europe. I also teach Latin, so oftentimes I go to Italy, Greece. But this past year, I had a chance to take some students to Spain, which again, Spain is my heart. So to be able to share that with students was a blessing. We went all over. We started in the center. We worked our way to the coast. You can see in the middle here a beautiful photo of the beach. We even got to go see some official sword making in Toledo, which is right in the center, not far from Madrid. And it was just amazing to kind of show them the world that was shown to me when I was not much older than you. So it's a great pleasure, and hopefully by the time you're in high school, maybe we'll take a trip together. That'd be fun. So some other things about myself personally. I am a family man. I have a wonderful and amazing wife who teaches in the high school, Mrs. Yoder. And then I have two beautiful daughters. I have a French Creek starter. She's going to be in kindergarten this year, Alicia, who you can see in the back with my wife. And then in front here is Caitlin. She is 3 years old and goes to Zion Lutheran preschool. And on the bottom right here, you can see a photo, actually pretty recent. I coach baseball here, I umpire, but I also play baseball and not softball. I play hardball, 9 inning baseball. A bunch of us who played in college and things like that still like to stay active and play ball. We actually won the championship last week, and this was us at the Blue Rock Stadium. We actually got to play our championship game in Blue Rocks. I play in Philadelphia in a Greater Philadelphia Men's League. So again, if I'm not with my family and I'm not on the baseball field, I'm usually in another country. And I love to bring all of that to the classroom, right? Because the thing for me and the thing that we're trying to do together is we're trying to get more comfortable interacting in Spanish, right? We want to be able to read and write. Those are generally the skills that come fastest. But then there are the more challenging, but the more rewarding ones of listening and speaking. Eventually, it's going to stop sounding like Charlie Brown's teacher, right? So if you're going to be able to hear where one word ends and one word begins. I have a really cool activity that we'll do throughout the year to kind of break your ears in. It's sort of like training wheels for your ears. And then we want to do speaking, right? It's the hardest thing, right? Develop your own Spanish accent to really be able to communicate and not sound like a robot. Those are things that take years. So be kind to yourself. Don't expect the world, but work hard for it every day. Cultural awareness. I've had so many great experiences. I've traveled over 22 countries, most of them Spanish speaking, but not all. And I want to bring that to the classroom, and I want to take us virtually outside of the classroom. So I like to use a lot of Chromebooks. You'll have permission to bring a smartphone if you have it. I like to use a lot of great apps and things to engage you, but also show you the world. Maybe we'll even bring in some guest speakers from other countries into our classroom. That'd be pretty cool. We'll be doing some independent projects. You'll be doing, depending your interests and whether you like to write or speak, maybe you'll do a little reflective blog or a podcast with buddies, kind of spreading all of the cool things that we're talking about and learning in class. Right. Obviously, those blogs and things won't be in Spanish to start. We don't have the words yet, but it'll be nice to talk about the process and what we're doing. I think it'll help. So that's a little bit about me, a little bit about what I hope to bring to our class every day. And I'm just really excited and I'm happy to be working with all of you. So stay tuned. We'll talk a little bit more about the specifics of class and then we'll talk about our class culture. So I'll see you soon.